Back in 2016, I had went through a breakup. It was a bad breakup, something that I probably wasn't expecting. I was just going through a struggle. I was homeless. I had my 2 children that I had to pretty much take care of, trying to find work. Third time was also Dessert Wars, and that was when we actually went ahead and we took home a trophy in third place out of all of the other bakers. It was 64 other competitors there. Like, say, when I did the cake for the senator of PG County, not to toot my own horn, but ooh, ooh.
Okay, guys, we are back. I want to say welcome in to everybody just getting in, and I want to say thank you, because today we have an absolutely amazing, absolutely special guest here, the one and only creator and inventor of Savvylicious Arrangements, winner of several bake-offs, and now the sole proprietor and opener of a bakery. Where is it located? And tell us about yourself, Savvy.
Hi, everyone. I am Sarah, and I'm the owner and CEO of Savvylicious Arrangements. My store location is in Waldorf, Maryland. It's inside of St. Charles Mall. The baking competitions, it was just kind of like something that I applied for. I seen some things on social media, and I was just like, oh, okay, maybe I can try this, and just not expecting to kind of win. Some of them. Well, one of them that I did, I actually did 3 times before I won.
Okay.
And it just goes to show that the persistence and being committed and everything like that, and just wanting to put that best foot forward. So I just never gave up, and I was just like, I know I can win this. So the first one was Dessert Wars, and that was taking place in Philadelphia. And then we didn't necessarily win that one, but we did come in on the top 15. And then our second time that we did Dessert Wars was in Dallas, Virginia.
Okay.
We didn't necessarily win that one either, but we did come in at top 10, which was number 8. And then the third time was also Dessert Wars, and that was when we actually went ahead and we took home a trophy in third place out of all of the other bakers. It was 64 other competitors there. And to win third place out of all the other ones, I was just like, I'm perfectly fine with taking home a third place trophy. So they actually have where the people's, it's called the People's Choice Award. And then they have a Judges Award also. So I was more interested in winning the People's Choice Award because that's people that come, they pay for a ticket, they try just about everybody's desserts and everything like that, and they go ahead and vote and choose who's the best out of all 64. So for me to take home a third place trophy for that, I was super grateful.
Let's shout out my girl, yeah. Because listen, she be doing the damn thing, and to be honest with y'all, she should have got number 1.
I should have got number
that.
1, but it's okay. I'm grateful. You win some, you lose some, but I just, I would do it again. And then the last competition that I did win first place was for the Cupcake Wars. And that was with 3 other competitors. And that's where we had different challenges where we had to create something as far as like the logo brand, the person that was hosting it, something with gun violence prevention, and then something that was for the company itself that was hosting the event, which was DTLR.
Okay.
So that's where I pretty much had all the little sneakers and the bowls for the company, and then the gun violence was what stopped the violence and everything like that. So that was a great experience also.
No, I'm glad because listen, I was there for that.
Yes.
And everything. And so let's get into it, Sarah. As your journey from, let us know, like, how did you get started as a baker? What was the inspiration for you? What made you want to be Savvylicious?
Okay, so just being transparent, I never seen myself become a baker, okay? My thing was more on the cooking side. And I honestly really wanted to be a celebrity makeup stylist and artist, and stylist. So honestly, just going through a struggle is kind of what landed me here in the baking industry. So I want to say about 5, 6 years ago, I believe it was. Back in 2016, I had went through a breakup,
Okay.
and it was a bad breakup, something that I probably wasn't expecting. But taking me from that breakup and moving me back to the DMV area, I was just going through a struggle. I was homeless. I had my 2 children that I had to pretty much take care of. Trying to find work, coming from my dad, him, raising me, spoiling me, pretty much taking care of me. I didn't really necessarily have to do anything. And then going into a serious relationship for 7 years where, he pretty much took the responsibility of my dad.
Okay.
I didn't necessarily need for anything, So when I worked, the little bit of money that I was making was pretty much just for me and whatever the kids may need, or if I chose to do whatever I needed to do with the money. So once we separated, I was on my own. I didn't necessarily know what a struggle was until I became single.
How long did it take to feel like you were in the struggle? Was it immediate, or did
It was
take a long time?
literally immediately, honestly. Like, I want to say maybe within the first 2 weeks, honestly, I would say. And I just wasn't used to that, and I couldn't go back home. So at this point, it's just like I'm in the world with 2 kids as a single mom, and I just gotta figure it out. I just gotta do what I gotta do. So I knew how to do hair. I knew how to do makeup, and I eventually landed a job. I went to school in Delaware for early childhood education.
Okay,
So I
good
did
stuff.
have some type of background in something, corporate other than like a side hustle. So once I moved back down to the DMV, I moved to Stafford, Virginia, and I got my apartment before I started working.
Okay.
Because I needed somewhere to stay. My kids needed somewhere to stay. So I got an apartment before I started working, and I was filling out job application after job application. And whatever was the first job that came to me, I pretty much took. And the job was all the way in Fulton, Maryland.
Okay.
If no one knows, that's on the other side of Floral.
Okay.
And I was living in Stafford, Virginia. So that's about a 2-hour drive.
Damn. Okay.
Every day. So mind you, it's just me. I don't got no help. I got to figure all this out by myself. So I'm living in Stafford, Virginia. My kids go to school in Clinton, Maryland. I work in Fulton, Maryland.
Oh, damn. So how were you? Go ahead, because that's a lot. That's a lot of maneuvering.
Right, it is.
And it's only 24 hours in a day.
Exactly.
Right.
So pretty much how my day went was I would get up in the morning at about 4 o'clock. I had to leave out the house no later than 5:30 to make it to Clinton by 6:30 to hop right back on the road to make it to work by 8:30. Stay at work for 6 to 8 hours, and then do it all over again. Drive back to
Backwards.
Clinton to pick up the kids, and then drive all the way to Stafford to go home. So it was a lot, but it was just like I ain't had no choice but to do it. And then the jobs that were closer to me, they just didn't pay the same as in Maryland, because the cost of living was cheaper in Virginia.
I definitely understand that.
I was just like, all right, well, if I got to take this time to pretty much drive the 2 hours, and that's just what I got to do. So that's pretty much how I was, kind of able to start another side hustle. So now I'm doing hair, I'm doing makeup, I'm working full time. My full-time job was just enough to cover the rent. So I'm thinking $11.50 was a lot at the time, but it wasn't. It was just enough to cover rent. Hair and makeup was just like, okay, well, now I got this. Now this is essential needs. Either whatever the kids need, whatever I need, gas money. So now I'm just like, okay, that's that. Now I need an extra money just to have on the safe side. So now I got to find another
Rainy day
hustle.
fund
Exactly.
and all of that.
So now I had to find another hustle, and I'm just like thinking, what else can I do? And I'm just like, oh, okay. Couldn't come up with no idea yet, right? Couldn't come up with any idea, but I knew I needed to find another hustle. So one day I was working, and my co-teacher in the classroom, she asked if I knew where she can get chocolate covered strawberries from. And I told her, I was just like, well, it's not Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, or anything like that, so you're not just going to be able to walk into the grocery store and find them. And she was just like, well, where else can I get them from? And I was just like, maybe you can get them from like Edible Arrangements, Godiva, something like that. She was just like, well, I don't want to spend a whole bunch of money. It's just for my husband. You know, we don't really got it like that. I just want to get him something for his birthday because that's what he's been asking for. So I was just like, you know what? I could do it for you. And she was like, you really know how to do that? And I was just like, yeah, it can't be that hard, right? It's just dipping strawberries in chocolate. So she was just like, well, how much would you charge me? And I was just like, oh, I won't charge you anything. And she was like, well, at least I got to give you something for it. And I was just like, no, it's okay. Don't worry about it. It's just dipping strawberries in chocolate. So she was like, well, at least let me, pay for the ingredients. So I was just like, okay, well, just give me like $10. So she gives me the money. I go home, pick up the kids, the whole process of getting back home. I go to the store, get the ingredients. I stayed up just about half the night dipping those strawberries in chocolate. Boxed them up for her real nice, took them to work for her. She took them home. Her husband enjoyed them. They both loved them. I wound up posting it on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, okay.
And that's what's before Facebook Marketplace became a super popular
big place.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So once I posted it there, it was just like, it kind of just took off from there. Okay. People was asking for different colors of strawberries. They was asking if I did treats, if they was asking if I did pretzels, Oreos, candy apples. And I just never said no to nobody. I just never said no. It don't matter if I knew how to do it, if I didn't know how to do it, I just researched it. I'll ask certain questions to other people. And back then, if somebody knew something, they would gatekeep it.
Right.
So Google was kind of like a big help. And then YouTube wasn't super popular with treat making and cake making at that time. Okay. So because
before you go farther, what year would you say that was then? So
that was 2000 and I believe 17.
Okay.
So it wasn't a lot of treat makers and cake makers on YouTube at that point. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, well, I can't find it, so let me start it.
Right.
So that's when I went ahead and started my YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. So I would set up my camera and I would record myself dipping chocolate covered strawberries, apples, berries, whatever else that I can pretty much record to help the next person in their new, baking process. Yes.
Yeah. And I'm about to say, listen, she's real humble, y'all, but don't get it twisted. She got over 20,000 followers over there. So make sure y'all get out, because not just only is she showing y'all how to do this stuff, she is making it look absolutely amazing. The artwork, the absolute, listen, you might say glitter work, but the thing is literally sparkling every time you see it. So make sure y'all get out there and check out Savvylicious Arrangement YouTube. But go ahead,
Thank you.
Sarah.
Yes, we are officially almost at 21,000 subscribers on YouTube. And I kind of just like, wow, these many people want to subscribe to my channel. And I'm really not even as consistent as I would want to be. And starting this whole process with the bakery build out thing, I was just like, oh, I'm gonna be able to show people how I've done it and, try to help someone else put their foot in the door to wanting to open up a storefront or a brick and mortar. But I just have not been super consistent like I want to, because if I didn't think didn't have time before, I really don't have time now. But
believe me, I know.
So, but I will, start to upload. I just have to get the time to do it. That's all.
It's all good. I got a good idea for you, and we'll talk about it.
Okay.
But yeah, so you don't jumped into it, and like I said, the journey has been absolutely amazing. I don't want to say I was there from the very get-go, but when I got there, I saw the growth, and I've seen you blossom really into a beautiful flower. So I just want to say thank you, because the treats have been amazing. I also want to thank you on behalf of my mother, Miss Senior DC, because she thinks that your food is absolutely divine. She was actually going to come here full regalia to meet you, but she had to take it easy this evening.
Okay.
But Sarah, so let me ask you this, right? What was the most pivotal moment for you on your journey that made you decide to be full-fledged in the business?
So what made me decide to go full-fledged with my business was my customers, honestly. Just building that customer service, having great customer service. I always tell my customers that I treat all my customers like VIP and family. And that's number one. Customer service is super number one to me. But what made me honestly go into wanting to open up a storefront was my customers. The fact that they continued to come back, they continued to order, always left me a great review. They gave me ideas sometimes. Just building those relationships with them. And it was just like, if I'm doing this great from home, and pretty much wherever it is, because I've been from place to place within these last 6-7 years. I've been up and down from north to south. So, and to get good feedback pretty much everywhere I go, I was just like, okay, I have something here. And to get into the public eye, I knew that it could take off from there. So just building that customer service and those clientels from home, I was just like, all I have to do is get to the public eye.
That's it. So let me ask you this. Now, this one is might be a little tricky, but is there like a number one supporter, somebody who usually has your back and it fuels that fire behind you?
I mean, I just probably myself. My kids,
self-motivated.
Yes,
okay,
my
so
children,
your kids,
you know.
Not your father. Come on now. You got so many people behind your back.
I mean, probably now that I got a brick and mortar, you know what I'm saying? But before, it was that little business, you know?
No, I definitely
So,
understand. It's almost like a shot in the dark, and then you just hoping and praying for your opportunity, right?
Right, exactly. So, to actually have someone be there to kind of like push me, I would honestly have to say just me and my kids, honestly. I'm doing this for them, you know? So I'm doing this to change our, what is it called?
Your life altogether.
Yeah, our lifestyle altogether. It was another word that I was looking for.
What you looking for?
It started with a D, I forgot.
Direction?
No. I forgot what it's called.
Okay. Well, if it comes back to your mind, let me know. But
Yes.
I want you guys, just so you know, you see that this girl has been working hard all on her own. She is her own motivation, but we want to give her as much support as possible. So if you can go out and go buy some of her edible arrangements. Well, I don't know if you call them edible arrangements. What do you call them? Bakery. Delectable, fine, exclusive desserts. Okay. Make sure you go out and get some treats from Sarah, please. And if you aren't able to make it, go over and follow her on YouTube. Would you like them to follow you on Instagram as well?
Yes, you can follow me on Instagram at Savvylicious Arrangements. And the same thing with YouTube. It will be Savvylicious Arrangements. And if you guys would like to keep up with my personal life, it's Sarah23 Brooks.
Okay. So I got this question for you, because you were talking about being a mom and doing all this stuff. So how has being a mother influenced your approach on running your business?
Okay, so being a mom has helped me run my business by developing skills and strong multitasking. I feel like that's super important. I haven't managed the whole time management part yet. I'm still working on that. Okay. Me and time management, we're not the best of friends. I don't like her. She don't like me. We just don't get along, you know? But just having an excellent high level of empathy and the ability to prioritize certain things in my business, and as being a mom too. So which is really crucial in trying to run a business.
And what do your girls say? Do they be like, Mom, we love you so much?
Yes.
They happy about it? They excited about the business and everything?
Yes, they are. They tell me they so proud of me just about every day. And that's what really means a lot to me, because we've been through a lot. We've been through ups and downs with, being homeless, living in my car. So now that now that they see me going from one level to another level, it's just like they're honestly super proud of me. And it makes me emotional talking about it, because it's just like, you do certain things so that your kids can see you and be proud of you. But that's really what it's all about to me.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So, but they tell me all the time how proud they are of me, and they can't wait to work for me, and this is their first job, and all of that good stuff. So,
well, I hope
yes.
you're teaching them to be little bosses themselves, so they know how
Yes.
to run the business instead of just being an employee.
Right.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so your creations have gained you a lot of traction on social media. Can you share one of your most memorable experiences where your design had went viral?
Okay, so I wouldn't say necessarily a design that had went viral, but it was a reel that I had did, and it kind of just went viral just out of nowhere, and it had wound up getting about 167,000 views, and I was just like, oh, okay, just for something simple like this. And I was in the process of making cake pops, something that I didn't like to make at all.
Okay.
Because I just didn't like them. Like, I felt like the cake pops was the devil. I did. I honestly felt like the cake pop was the devil, because it was just like, it doesn't matter what you do and how you do it. They just slide off the stick.
Okay.
So I was just in the process of just recording, and it wasn't even like something that I put together. It was just like, all right, I just pulled my camera out, set it on the table, and I was just in the process of just making cake pops. And I posted it on Instagram, and it just went viral from there. And that's how I was really able to gain a lot of the followers that I do have on there, other than, networking and everything like that.
I was about to say, maybe the cake pops went off so hard because they're so hard to make. Maybe that's what it was.
So.
And it was like, well, she could do that shit. I need to learn, So you said that's that was your least favorite. So do you have a favorite thing to bake?
I would have to say cupcake. I would have to say cake now. Because it took me a little while to get into cake, because it was such a tedious process. And I just never really seen myself doing cake. I never even seen myself baking, honestly. Like I said before, this is something that just kind of fell in my lap, and I kind of just took it and ran with it and turned it into a passion. So at first I started with the cupcakes, and then I gradually went on to making cake, because people kept asking, oh, do you make cake? Do you make cake? Do you make cake? And then as I would call other bakeries to place orders for cakes, I'm just like, cake is where the money is. So I'm sitting here charging, at that time, $15, $20 for a dozen cupcakes, when I could be charging $150, $200 to make a cake.
Because it's art. It's artwork.
Right, and it's a process. So I was just like, I need to learn how to make cakes. And I was self-taught in everything that I've done with the whole bakery thing, as far as the flavors, the creations, the themes, the ideas. Everything that Savvylicious operates off of has been self-taught, either through YouTube University or TikTok Academy, whatever it is that you want to call it. But at that time, it was usually YouTube University.
Okay. And have you ever thought about becoming a teacher yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
So I will be hosting classes next door to me from my space.
Oh, look at that.
Starting in November, we'll start to teach people that either want to learn to do cakes, or just something that they can do with their children, as just something that just to start a new hobby or something like that.
Okay.
So
how long is the course, and when would they be able to, what days would they have to come?
So most likely it will probably be on a Saturday. I haven't figured out an exact date as of yet, but I'm still trying to gather up a couple more people. It's been a lot of people that has asked about classes and everything like that. So we do offer classes as far as cakes and treat making, candy apple making, and everything like that.
That's dope. That's dope. I'm very proud of you, Sarah. You're doing a lot of amazing things. It's more than I was expecting.
Thank you.
Okay. So, and then see, I had a word for it too.
Okay.
Starting your elite confectionery bakery was no small feat, right?
Right.
Where do you feel like some of the biggest challenges you faced today so far, or in this last little week?
Okay. So so far, one of the biggest challenges that I faced, like I said, I can't stress this more than enough, is being homeless. Okay. Like being homeless and trying to run a business, trying to be a mom, trying to take care of yourself. It's a struggle. It's a really hard because it's just like, especially when you have kids, it's just like that structure kind of goes out of the window because now at this point you're trying to survive. So, um, and then challenges when it comes to cake making. I've had multiple challenges where cakes fell during delivery and trying to figure out how I'm going to make it up to the customer. How can I, you know, still satisfy the customer either by remaking their cake for them another time. It's been times where we was in the car driving to make a delivery and the cake like cracked and the bottom cake cracked and then the middle cake cracked and then the only part of the cake that we could save was the top part of the cake. And I just had to call the customer to be like, hey, I'm going through a crisis right now with the cake. And, you know, the best thing I can do for you right now is just slice up the cake and then you just serve it. And then the top part of the cake can still be, you know, to where you guys can sing happy birthday or whatever the event was for. And it just broke my heart because it's just like I put all this hard work into something and then the customer don't even really get to see it before the event. So that was multiple challenges right there that I had to go through and face during the process. And recently I wouldn't say within this week because we didn't necessarily have any challenges within this week, but within the process of getting the brick and mortar, literally, I want to say in April is when I put the money down for the space. Literally, once I put the money down for the bakery, literally like 2 days later, I got fired from work. And I was just like, it's no way that this can happen to me right now. All I could think of was, I need to find a way to get this money by tomorrow. So just having to go back into that hustle mode where I'm doing hair again, I'm doing makeup again. I'm, doing cake sales so that I can continue to go ahead and put the money towards the space because the mall is only giving you a 2-month build out.
Okay. So
time.
You rent the space like 2 months and then you have to have it built before that?
So how it works with the mall, or I would say the mall because that's where I'm at. So how it works with the mall is you put your down payment, your security deposit down, and then they give you 2 months to do your build out. So within 2 months, they're expecting you to open up. So they're not necessarily charging you rent. So they either giving it to you for $1 or they're giving it to you for pretty much free. And then within those 2 months, you're supposed to do everything that you need to do, get your health inspections, your permits, fire inspections, everything that you need to do to get up and running within those 2 months. And then from there, you go ahead and start running your business. That way your rent starts to kick in then. But pretty much what happened with me, because I got laid off of work, I wasn't able to open up within those 2 months. It took me about 4, maybe 4.5 months to get everything up and running. So they were still charging me rent after those 2 months.
Yeah, listen, y'all. I want y'all to definitely stop whatever you're doing and make sure y'all tap in. If there's any Cash App or anything that we can do to support, I want you guys to reach out. And if you can, I'm not asking anybody who cannot, but give this girl some support because as you see, she's been working from a deficit to make herself a thriving member of the community. And I really respect it because it's really hard to come from, like she said, a point where you're feeling like you're surviving and then claw your way all the way up that well, and then now you see the light, but then try to keep yourself above the water. You know what I mean?
Yes. Okay, I found the word.
Okay.
Dynamic.
Okay. She want to add it to the dynamic of the
Yes,
family.
the word of the day is dynamic. Okay, changing my life's dynamic. That's what it was.
Featured by Sarah of Savvylicious. Word of the day.
Yes. So, but yeah, I'm grateful. I'm humble. I was super nervous about starting my business.
Can you walk us through the process of creating one of your signature designs from concept to finished product?
Okay, so walking you through step by step from beginning to end would be, of course, your ingredients. We use the purest ingredients. Quality is important to me. So, um, your flour, your cake flour, your extracts, your emulsions, and stuff like that. Eggs, sugar, buttermilk, milk, not just, your basics things like water and everything like that. So from start to finish, it would be those quality ingredients, and then we will bake the cake, freeze the cake, frost the cake, stack the cake, and then depending on what the theme is. So let's say the theme is, I don't know, give me a theme. What would the theme
Let's
be?
say it's a soccer game one, and then maybe we have a spicy ladies' night out party. You know what I mean?
Okay, I'll give you a better one. Maybe let's say like Jurassic Park or something, right?
Jurassic
Okay, so Jurassic Park, far as like the theme and bringing it to life, right? I'm not super creative like with making figures and out of gum paste and fondant and everything like that. So my thing is I usually just buy the figures, and then we just add them to the cake. So bringing a Jurassic cake to life, I would do kind of like a platform where the bottom of the cake is the cake board, and then I'll build like a platform on the back of a cake where it's more like a jungle type of thing where they're walking through the forest. Those little birds that fly.
Pterodactyls.
Yeah, those pterodactyls.
Pterodactyls. I'll give you some of the names.
Yeah.
I don't know everything.
Right. So those pterodactyls will go ahead and, pin them to the back of the cake board to make it look like, more realistic 3D type of thing. And then we have, what's the most famous?
The T-Rex.
No, not the T-Rex. From the Jurassic Park, the one with the blue stripe.
The blue stripe. Oh,
Yeah.
you talking about the new Jurassic World one? I don't know about that.
Oh, okay.
I don't know
All right.
about
Okay, well, the T-Rex is the most popular one. So let's say T-Rex. So we'll add a T-Rex to the center of the cake, and then we'll have the logo on the front of the cake, which is either Jurassic World or Jurassic Park. And then at the bottom of the platform, we'll have like some grass moss, and some extra dinosaurs, some plants, little things like that, just to kind of bring the cake more to life than just giving you a simple Jurassic Park cake.
No, I definitely understand that, and I appreciate that one. I was gonna say, with it though, because you were saying that, like the design itself is like something that you kind of you etch out, in your head first before you put it together. Mm-hmm. Have you ever just like, let's say somebody gave you something without like a design or something like that, or without even like a real idea, that just gave you an image in their head, and you just had to put it together? Has that ever been the case?
So,
and what do you do there?
Not most of the time, because most of the time they kind of give me an inspirational picture. But for the ones that have like say when I did the cake for the senator, of PG County, not to toot my own horn, but so yes, so I did the cake for the senator, for PG County, not knowing who he was, and he just called me out of the blue one day and was just like, "Hey, I need a cake for my daughter," and I was just like, "Okay, what type of theme are you looking for?" And he was just like, "I don't know, she likes tea parties and spa," and I was just like, "Okay." So how do you want to do this? And he was just like, "Honestly, I don't know. I'm just going to leave it in your hands, and then you have free creative." He was just like, "I know I just want a teacup or a teapot, and some nail stuff or some spa stuff on there." And I was just like, "All right, and what's her favorite color?" He's just like, "Pink and purple." So I was just like, "Okay." I mean, I went home, I started looking up some different type of ideas, and I kind of just put it together that way. So it was a tea party and spa, and we called it, I believe her name was Braylin's Tea Party and Spa.
Okay, that sounds amazing. That's dope. But that's listen. So where do you keep all this creativity? Like, what is the best inspiration for you when you have to get creative? Like, what do you do? What's your headspace? What do? You sit down, listen to music? Like, tell us about that.
No, not really. My best inspiration as far as like getting cake ideas would have to be social media. Instagram, TikTok is a big one. I used to say YouTube, but because Instagram and TikTok is more of like a 30-second to 60-second type of thing, it's like a microwavable. I could just get to it real quick and simple, look at it and kind of be like, okay, I could do this, or I could take this out and put this in, or I could change this and make it to this. So yeah, I would have to say social media has been a big help, because mind you, I told you I wasn't super creative. You know, I never seen myself doing this, so I wasn't like someone that loved art in school, or, you know, I was just like, oh, I can put this piece together with this piece and make it come to this. I was never that type of person. I kind of grew into that now as in being a cake artist.
It's all good. It's all good. So as we get back into it, I wanted to ask you, what has been the proudest achievement you've had so far with Savvylicious Arrangements?
Okay, so my proudest achievement would have to be my grand opening.
Okay.
That would be my proudest achievement, because going through this whole process of building the bakery, getting the equipment for the bakery, finding the money for the bakery, getting the job to put the money back into the bakery, I just wasn't sure what was going to happen, how it was going to happen, when I was going to get open. I didn't tell anybody about me opening up a bakery or anything like that. Only my dad knew, you know, my kid's father knew about it. So it was like a kept long secret that I've kind of kept for a couple months, until I was just like, all right, well, I'm going to say, or I'm going to tell people that I'm opening up a bakery when I pass my health department inspection. So that way I know it's real, you know? So that would have to be my biggest achievement, was opening up the doors to the community far as Savvylicious Arrangements. And it's still a proudest moment, because it's just like, it's pretty much coming from where I came from, all the trials and tribulations that I pretty much had to endeavor, all the sacrifices that I had to endeavor. It was just like, we made it pretty much,
yes,
you
sir.
know? So, and we still have, you know, growth and everything like that, but right now I'm just going to encounter all of this and take it in. All the congratulations, all the, oh, I knew you can do it, even though they probably didn't think I could. But yes, I'm just going to take it all in, all the, you know, congratulations and wish you the best success. And, you know, just random people coming up to the bakery and asking, oh, is the owner here, or is the black owned, and everything like that. So yeah, I'm grateful.
Oh, you might need another neon sign to say black owned, black girl business. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. And I was going to say, you were saying that, you know, this is your biggest achievement, but, excuse me, no. You were saying that this, you know, you were waiting for it to feel real with the health inspection. Mm-hmm. Did you feel like it was unreal before that? Like, you felt like this was just something that you were dreaming up? It was surreal? Like, you got up every day and thought you weren't going to make it?
Honestly, yeah, I did, because you just never know. You just never know. Especially with this being like my first time doing something like this. I'm now coming from a home-based baker to now becoming a brick and mortar or commercial baker. And just not necessarily having a mentor there to help me, kind of just doing research from Google, research from TikTok, research from YouTube and everything like that. Not having someone there to kind of walk me step by step until I got into the business, where I already put down the money. I already, you know, started buying equipment, and then I started going ahead and talking to small business owners and trying to figure out what to do, what not to do, how to do it, how not to do it, what should I do, what should I not do. So that's how I was able to kind of be a little bit more comfortable. I had met a few people in the same facility that I'm in that have small businesses where I was able to go ahead and talk to them. So pretty much starting everything out, and then once I pretty much got my foot in the door as far as wanting to, get more insight on how to do certain things and what should I do, how to go about the health department, what type of equipment I do need, and what type of things that the health department is going to be looking for, because they give you like a whole packet that they want you to fill out and give back to them, because you're dealing with food. So, you don't want to poison anybody. You don't want to make anybody sick. You don't want to be able to like get these reports and then they come down and close you. So just trying to do everything the right way. So I have wound up asking a bunch of people questions. That's one thing about me that I'm not afraid to do, is ask questions. If you want to learn something, you definitely have to ask questions. It was a small restaurant in the mall, and one day I just was just like, hey, I just opened up a bakery back there and I need some help. Do you mind helping me? Most people, they'd be like, nah, you got to figure it out on your own. But, this person was kind enough to go ahead and walk me through pretty much a little bit of everything on what to do, how to do it. And they ran multiple restaurants in their past before opening up their own space. So I'm super grateful for that person. Whenever I need help with something, as far as like payroll, as far as who should I hire, what should I look for when hiring people, and everything like that, he's always been kind of like right there to navigate me and help me, every step of the way.
Okay,
so
you want to let us know who's giving you that good old assistance now?
So his name is Anthony, and he is the owner of Ocean Blue Grill. That's the Jamaican restaurant that's in St. Charles Mall inside of the food court. So if you guys are ever going through the food court and you guys want some great food, Ocean Blue will be the grill for you. You see that? Bars, baby, hey, bars.
Listen to y'all. Listen, she even got a slogan for y'all. So y'all better shout out and give that support to girl Savvylicious. She's starting a trend over
Yes. So he's been a great help. I will honestly say that. Pretty much, kind of always having my back when I need help or something. So if you want to say, if you had someone that was in your back or in your corner, I would say now, yeah, that would be kind of the person that I would kind of run to whenever I need questions or if I need help with something, because we're pretty much in the same industry as far as food. Either he's just on the cooking side and I'm on the baking side, which mine is more of like a little bit of more of a science. I would definitely, yeah, cooking. I feel like cooking is more of like you season, you're tasting. Baking is more of a science, like teaspoons, tablespoons, cups, and stuff like that. And if you add too much of one thing, it kind of can mess it up. You add a little bit too much seasoning to your chicken, it's a good thing.
Oh, really? Listen, I don't know if I ever thought that this would be a thing, but I think Sarah just started the very first foodies versus bakers food war.
Man.
All right, what is more of a science? Who is doing more work in the kitchen, bakers or cookers? All right, let's see what y'all got to say.
Definitely doing more the in the kitchen.
Please get down in those comments. I want to hear if there's any certified bakers, any certified chefs in the building. Please let me know down in them comments.
Yes, bakers is definitely doing more of pastry artists, anything like that is definitely doing more than the cooks, because the cooks, they just kind of could throw something together. Like if I'm giving a recipe to somebody, you'd be like, oh, you can go ahead and buy just a pack of chicken thighs and whatever seasonings you got in your cabinet. And there's, you kind of just taste it to make it to your liking. Bacon, I got to give you a precise recipe. So
I was about to say, I'm going to give you a little bit of pushback, though, because if you want that chicken to fall off the bone, you got to cook it at the right temperature.
Right.
And at the right time, though. So, and
right, but the temperature compared to the ingredients is two different things. So if I say, hey, add 1 cup of sugar, granulated sugar, but you add 1 cup of brown sugar,
then it's going to throw off the whole thing?
Yes. Compared to you just leaving the chicken in the oven for an extra 20 minutes.
Or what if you use liquid sugar, that high fructose syrup or whatever?
Then yeah, you messing up. You messing up.
You messing
You're
up
messing
all
up.
together.
Yeah, you're messing up. That ain't gonna come out like you want it. Like if I'm making cookies, I ain't gonna add liquid corn syrup to cookies.
You just never know.
They gonna. I don't even know what they gonna come out
They
like.
gonna come out cookies.
There you go.
They gonna be cookies.
They gonna come out boneless. Boneless cookies.
Okay, so earlier you were mentioning the importance of having a work-life balance, and I know that you were saying that you haven't fully developed it, but you're doing amazing things. You're making amazing strides. So, what have been some strategies that you developed so far that you know have worked for you?
As far as work-life balance, I ain't figured it out yet.
You're doing something right. You're doing something right because you're living life and you're doing work.
I feel like I don't know. I'm working at this point. Like my bakery has been a priority. Like my bakery has been a number one priority. You know, because I do have children, my kids is a priority, but honestly, being transparent, they haven't been the only priority since I've been doing the bakery because of the time frame. Have to make sure that I get everything up and running by this time, you know, not wanting to cause myself any more debt by holding off the bakery because of, you know, children and my, you know, being there for myself and wanting to make sure that I have everything. So my children has not been like the major priority because of the whole bakery thing. But now that I got the bakery up and running, I can go ahead and start balancing that now and balancing the bakery and everything at the same time. So whenever it is where it comes to like school and extracurricular activities, tutoring, studying and stuff like that, yes, that has been a priority before the bakery. But when it comes to like spending quality time with them, taking them out, just kind of doing little fun things that kind of had to been on the back burner as the moment because of, you know, I'm trying to change our life dynamic. Exactly. The word of the night.
Dynamic.
Trying to change our life's dynamic. So I just had to pretty much, you know, communicate with them and be like, hey, I know we used to do this, and this, but right now, you know, we got to just hold off for a little bit. We might have to, you know, not shop as much, not buy the latest shoes right now, not buy the latest book bag that you want for school, you know, those type of things to put us in the place that we are in right now.
I mean, and that's a proper lesson because sometimes you have to not splurge, I would say. What's the word? Now you got me brain farting. It's more so you have to have that type of structure. When I get the exact word I'm looking for, I'll say it this time. But you need that structure so that way they can have the wherewithal for the future. Because if they just feel as though every day is, you know, their birthday,
right,
then they won't know when it's time to hunker down and to, you know, look at things in a serious light. Like,
right,
we might not be able to do all this month,
right,
but next month it's on the pop.
Right,
you know
right,
what I mean?
Right, exactly. And they you know, they understand. And sometimes it just makes me be like, oh my goodness, I hate to tell them no, that they can't do this or they can't go here or we can't do this right now or we can't do that right now. But for the most part, they still don't necessarily want for anything other than like the little miscellaneous things that they probably don't really need. But now that we are kind of, you know, getting into a better situation, I could start back with, you know. And then now they're like, I'm not going to say they're frugal. I got one that's frugal, honestly. I got one that can save money and not touch it, not spend it. It won't burn her pocket or anything like that. And then I got another one that just like,
as soon as she see it, gotta go.
Let me borrow $20 to the mall. You know, so yeah, that's pretty much how I have. One is super frugal. She could save money, don't have to touch it. And then the other one is just like, can I get $10? So I can buy Roblox.
Not Roblox.
Robux or something like that.
Listen, I don't even know nothing about that because the only child I got is on the back of my head. So that's all I know about you. Man. Know what I'm saying? But as you've gone along, and I know you said you want to be a teacher, but looking back, what would be some advice you would give aspiring bakers on their journey to starting their own business?
All right. So anyone that is an aspiring baker, dreaming of opening up their own brick and mortar one day, the advice that I can thoroughly give you guys is to research the market. Okay, research the market. Make sure that you are doing a lot of research far as developing a strong business plan, which you don't necessarily really need unless you are looking for investors, which I pretty much had to learn that. I thought you had to have a business plan because that's what they always push. Make sure you have a business plan. Make sure you have a business plan or a strong business plan. You don't necessarily have to have a business plan depending on what you're doing. If you're coming out your own pocket, you don't necessarily have to have a business plan. If you are looking for investors, then yes, they would want to see your business plan so that they know what the layout was going to be, how much they're going to gain back from you, and this, that, and the third. Pretty much developing and finding a unique niche in whatever it is that you're going to do, rather if it's pastry or if it's just baking, cakes, and everything like that. Prioritizing ingredients and customer service is a big one. And I live by that. I would always say customer service. Build your clientele and just get feedback from different customers. In the beginning, you're going to start out as, looking for that support from friends and family, which is not going to happen. But if you're just doing it as a hobby in the beginning to just go ahead and give it to your friends and family, then that's fine. But once you start to take it seriously, your friends and family are not going to be your biggest supporters. So 100%. Do not feel any type of way when you go to them and be like, oh, well, you didn't support me. Never look for that. I never did because I just never did. Even when it came to my grand opening, only one
of the family members?
Yes.
Came out?
Yes.
On time, at least.
Came out, period.
Okay.
And I did feel some type of way about that, because regardless of whatever it is that I'm doing, where I'm at, how far I live, if I'm struggling, if I'm broke, if I'm broken, if I'm stressed, if I'm having anxiety, whatever it is, I usually show up. Don't matter how far it is, how far I got to drive or anything like that. So when it's my turn to get that same support that I give y'all, it does feel some type of way. And I did feel some type of way at my event when only one of my cousins, my sister was there. I was grateful for that. But other than that, my dad was there. But other than that, that was kind of it. Everybody else was just, right, just kind of family that I built on my own by living here in Maryland. So, but to jump back into the question about, inspiring bakers and everything like that, just pretty much adapting to the market and trends, remembering to build that loyal customer base and engaging with the community. Okay. So, yeah.
I was just going to say, though, but you touched on something really important that I think that a lot of people need to know. When you're growing any type of business, as much as you love your family and everything else, they can't be the support system, because you have to outreach to people that are going to be way more outside of your family. And to be honest with you, the people that you don't know, for some reason, will support you harder than your family, because
yes, it's because they know you. I feel like it's because they know you, and it's just like, oh, well, who are you to
feel like you've
want to open up a t-shirt line, or who are you to want to open up a brick and mortar, or who are you to want to, make customized shoes. It doesn't matter what brand it is or what it is, whatever it is that you're behind. It could be music, it could be food, it could be production.
It could be this podcast.
Right, exactly.
Listen, everybody in my family, they know I got one. Mm-hmm. But the biggest supporter, of course, like you were saying, my mom comes, but everybody else will watch it, but never, hit up a comment or nothing, and they'll have conversations behind my back about it. But it is what it is, and I ain't never been mad. But as we move along, though, as you as a successful businesswoman now, your growth has been significant so far in this last little couple seasons. Mm-hmm. So how do you maintain the quality and consistency as you scale up?
My quality, far as in like my
okay, as your goods. Like, how do you make sure that they don't fall? Because you have a larger customer base now, right? You got the Uber Eats you said you was on.
Yes.
So you got to get it to people across I don't know if it's state lines, but you never know, because it might have to go far.
Right. So far as trying to staying relevant with the quality of how I bake my goods, just pretty much baking them fresh. Anything more than 2 days old, I don't want to sell it. Not saying that they're not fresh after 2 days, because cupcakes can stay on the shelf for, I would say, at least a good 2 weeks. But because we are in the public eye now, the cupcakes are sitting in a case throughout the day. So by the end of the day, I'm not going to say that they're dried out, but it's just something that I know personally I probably wouldn't want to eat. So anything more than 2 days, if I'm like, no, if I don't feel like I want to eat it, I wouldn't sell it to a customer. And then pretty much being in the bakery and trying to figure out what the customers like in the area, what they gravitate to more now that I'm in the public's eye, because before, being from home, I was only making cupcakes according to custom orders. Okay. So now that I'm making cupcakes just about every day, cakes just about every day, now the treats just about every day, I want to know what they like, what they don't like, so that way I can continue to have that on hand when they come, in that area. So at first, when I first started, I was making about, I want to say, 3 batches of cupcakes. And because we do provide a bunch of different flavors of cupcakes, I would pick a good, maybe, I want to say anywhere from 6 to 8 different flavors, so that I can have on hand. So that way when they come up, they have a variety of flavors that they can choose from. So now that our first week has passed, and I'm just like, okay, cool. I know Monday and Tuesday was going to be a little slow, so I'll do this. Or I know why Wednesday and Thursday is going to start to pick up, so I'll have this. And then just kind of scaling down on how much I make. Okay. So that way a lot of stuff don't go to waste, because I don't like that.
You definitely don't want no wasted
right
goodness that you got now. That's definitely not what it is. Okay, so can you share a particular challenging order or a project that pushed you outside of your comfort zone?
Oh, a wedding cake. A wedding cake that I had to make for a really close friend of mine, and then having to pretty much deliver it to Jersey. I was living with my sister at the time, and my girlfriend, she was getting married, and she wanted me to make her cake. And she gave me this 7-tier cake to make.
7 tiers? What's 7 tiers like? I don't know nothing about that.
So 7 tiers is pretty much, the bottom cake is 20, and then an 18, 16, 14, 12, 10, 8. Wow. And then in between each layer had roses, like dividers, but the dividers were roses to give the cake a little bit more height. And it was challenging because it was something that I've never done before. It was a wedding cake. Wedding days are super important to the brides, right? And they look forward to cutting their cake. So my challenging part was, I didn't have the space to make such a large cake. Literally, when I was living with my sister, the table my station that I was working on was maybe about the size of this table, if not a little smaller. You know those little white IKEA tables that you get? Yeah, it was about right. Like the inside of it. Exactly. It was about that size. And that was my station, and the refrigerator was a typical refrigerator that you have at home. Mind you, it's me, my sister, her fiance, my kids. Refrigerator's kind of pretty much full all the time. So having to chill all of these different tiers and make, because the cake was a dummy cake, but it was still large, and I still had to wrap it in fondant. I still had to ice the cake and everything like that. It was still the same as making a real cake, but it was just a dummy cake. And then having to make other cakes and cut them up to serve to the guests. Oh, goodness. So making the artificial cake, and then also making about 8-inch cakes and cutting them up, and so that the waitress would just serve the cakes on plates. So that way, they didn't have to cut it up and everything like that. I pretty much already did everything for them. So having to do all of that in that small area, it was just a lot. So I had wound up reaching out to a friend of mine that owns a bakery in Delaware. His name is Dana. He was one of the winners from Cake Boss. Okay. So shout out to him.
Shout out Dana. Hold on.
And I actually grew up watching Dana and just having a love for the industry, but not necessarily seeing myself doing it. So seeing a black guy win Cake Boss, it was amazing. Not knowing that multiple years down the line that we'll become friends, or I'll know him in a circle of what I do.
I was about to say, as a mentor,
Yes.
outreach, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
So I reached out to him and I pretty much asked him if I can use his space to make this cake. And he was just like, yeah, sure, no problem. Whatever it is that you need, I got you, and however long you need to stay, I'll be there to, unlock the door. I'll give you the pin to unlock the door so that you can go ahead and fulfill whatever order you need to do. So, and I was, super grateful for that. So, yeah, so that was one of the challenging
little moments for you.
Yeah.
That helped you evolve yourself.
Yes.
But that's good though. So, all right, so we're actually about to wrap it up, Sarah. So I hope you've had a good time here.
Yes.
You've enjoyed your little bit of spotlight. You know what I'm saying? We hope that you start shining even more. But as you, before you get out of here, what is the most valuable lesson that you have learned about entrepreneurship through your journey with Savvylicious Arrangements?
So I would have to say the most valuable thing that I've learned would be and commitment, because without commitment, it's like, where would you be? In order for you to get to these next steps in your entrepreneurship, you have to be consistent, you have to commit, you have to be persistent, you have to sacrifice if you want to make it a full-fledged business. And just learning that as time went on. It started off as a hobby, and then it gradually went into a full-fledged business. So if I would have to say those 4 or 5 things, honestly.
That's right, girl. Give them your testimony. Let
Yes.
them know how you got through this
I would
thing.
have to say those 4 or 5 things, honestly, because
Okay. And before you get up out of here, okay, we do something special here on Juice to Squeeze podcast, and that's called an accountability session.
Okay.
All that really is that we want to hold you accountable because you came on here. We want to make sure that you grow and that we make sure that you're doing better from here on out. So first thing I want to know, what is the next on the horizon for Savvylicious Arrangement? Are there any exciting projects or collaborations coming up?
I don't have any collaborations at the moment. Hopefully that changes in the next couple months. But on the horizon of Savvylicious Arrangements, I don't know. I would want to say, just reaching a goal of hitting first 100K in my business. That would probably be the first thing.
All right, y'all heard that. That's what she wants. She want to hit that first 100K in sales, and then actually we'll even double up on that. We want to get her 1 million overall sales.
Yes.
So if we can get her 1 million overall sales, now it's only a month really left in the year.
Right, exactly.
All right, so we'll be realistic.
But starting next year.
By March, y'all. Let's get her to there by March time. All right, so
Yes.
we can be realistic. That's about 4 months.
Right.
Gives y'all a good amount of time. Okay, but even with that though, all right, before you get out of there, where do you see your business in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, I want to say maybe having another location. Location, honestly. Okay. So I want to say, back to your previous question. I mean, we may be looking to open up a second location, maybe starting within the next 2 or 3 months. Not a storefront, but maybe being in another location in another mall, and another store, and see how that works out. And then gradually go from there. But within the next 5 years, I want to say to have another storefront location, like a standalone store location, maybe in a shopping center or something like that. And then if not, looking to kind of franchise Savvylicious Arrangements.
Yes, ma'am. I was about to say that because my mind is already spinning with ideas.
Yes.
Okay, so for our listeners who want to follow up and be a part of the journey with you and your creations, let them know where they can find you, how they can subscribe and get involved with Savvylicious Arrangements.
All right, so you can follow me on TikTok if you would like to see the process of pretty much how I started with opening up my bakery. You can follow me on TikTok at Sarah23Brooks. And on Instagram, you can follow me at Savvylicious Arrangements. And if you would like to follow my personal page, it's Sarah23Brooks. And on Facebook, it's Sarah Jordan. And then on YouTube, it would be Savvylicious Arrangements. So everything is pretty much the same with the names. I pretty much have everything kind of connected together. So if you go to my Instagram at Sarah23Brooks, you can hit the link in the bio, which is the link tree, and everything pops up for you. The first thing you'll see is leave us a Google review. If you would like to see our reviews and see what type of customer service that we leave and the things that we encounter with our customers, you can always go ahead and read our reviews. You know, we hold a 5-star review in PG County, St. Charles County.
And we plan on keeping it that way to the next 4 to 5 years. So make sure you get down and try these lovely confectionery delights by Savvylicious Arrangements.
Yes.
Also, on top of that, make sure that you guys follow her pages so that way you can reach out and become a part of her community so that way you might learn how to bake yourself. Okay, Sarah, you know, as you move along in your goals and everything, could you let us know one goal that you will certainly commit to within the next 6 months, and how can my viewers here help to support you in that goal?
Okay, so a goal that I can see myself committing to within the next 6 months would have to be being more consistent with social media, posting more videos, being more consistent with my YouTube channel, because that's where I have the largest following and that's pretty much where they cut the check for me, you know. So so being more consistent with YouTube and social media in a whole, because everybody don't have every platform of social media. I have a community that's on YouTube, I have a community that's on Instagram, and then I have some of the community that's on TikTok. And then also going live more often also. I just feel like live kind of takes a little bit more time, because it's like, I like things to be like right then and there. I don't want to have to like not prepare it, but if I do prepare it and go live, I need everything to be right there. So that way I'm not walking over there, I'm not walking over here, I'm not coming back here, I'm not grabbing this from here, I'm not looking for that there, you know. So if I would go live, I would have to have everything right then and there, and something that's not going to take 2 to 3 hours, because people are not, you know. Remember, we live in a microwavable world right now, so everything has to be at least 30 seconds. After that, it loses their attention span, unless you're doing something, or you have like a really, really big following where people just don't mind watching you. So, and I'm not there yet.
You're not the long form girly. Just say that. You're not the long form girly. You're like, I got to get out of here too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, so my last and final question. What is one piece of advice or mantra that you could share to our listeners to inspire them on their own entrepreneurial journeys? One
piece of advice that I wish I knew when I started my journey was that it was not going to be easy. I thought it, not saying that I thought it was going to be easy. I know you have, you know, trials and tribulations that you go through when you're trying to do anything independent, but I didn't think it was going to be this hard. Okay? I didn't think it was going to be this hard.
So what do you feel like? You feel like you jumped through too many hoops, or what is it that's like the bigger issue that made it harder than you thought?
I would say the biggest issue that was definitely difficult for me was the funds, was the money. And everybody is not gonna, you know, with you starting your own business, most of the time people are starting their own business to not have to work a 9 to 5, to be able to have that freedom of traveling and getting up and doing this and getting up and doing that and waking up when they feel like it. And it's not gonna be that. Depending on what type of business you're doing. So as far as the baking industry, I just didn't have that. I was working full time. I was still being a mom. I was still trying to work out, still trying to, you know, be in shape and everything like that. So the time was just something that I necessarily did not have. So pretty much sacrificing a lot of things that I just necessarily didn't want to, but I knew in order for me to better my lifestyle, I knew that I had to. And I was okay with it. You know, I knew I put my once I put my mind to something, I'm not going to stop until I get there.
That's right, girl.
And I didn't have no choice but to keep going, regardless of whatever situations and trials and tribulations that I ran into on the way here to opening up my bakery. Rather if that was, you know, driving 2 hours to and from work, rather if that was being homeless at the beginning of this year, again, you know, rather if that was being fired from work, nothing stopped me, you know. So to all the believers out there, just, you know, praying, talking to God and everything like that, and just staying focused. Just staying focused. Don't lose the focus. The end goal is to either open up a brick and mortar. The end goal is to either hit that 100K in sales online. The end goal is to put smiles on people's faces. You know, whatever it is that you're doing as far as your business, there's always an end goal. And the end goal for me was to open up a brick and mortar. And it's just the beginning.
Yes, ma'am. It's just the beginning, and it's about to blow up and go crazy. So, again, I want to thank you to the lovely, amazing, and always beautiful Sarah. You know what I'm saying? And make sure you guys go out and follow her on all the pages. She gave pretty much everything except for her damn phone number. So
it's 202.
So make sure y'all go out and give her all the support necessary. If you can, drop by the shop, buy and try some of this lovely, lovely cakes. And hold on, let me show it to you one more time. Get some of this stuff, y'all. It is absolutely amazing, okay? I got people hooked on it left and right. I got my sisters actually coming out to see you soon. I'm not going to be around, but they're going to come to see you.
Okay.
On top of that, guys, I just want you always to remember, live as long as you want, never want as long as you live, and always squeeze the best juice out of life. Peace.